What's up, guys? FM Campbell here. Welcome to episode number 13 of the Aston Villa series. If you want to check out episode 12 or any of the episodes before, the link will be in the description to go and do so. I just want to say a massive thank you for all the support that we've been having on the Aston Villa series so far. A lot of people have been enjoying it. Loads of people getting in comments and liking the video, so I really do appreciate it. So, yeah, thank you for that. Getting into what's been going on, we left you just before the Arsenal game. In the Premier League. Yeah, so things haven't been going too well. We obviously, as you can see, I lost 3-1 to Arsenal. Jordan Ibe with the only goal in the 71st minute. Giroud scored twice and Welbeck scored once. So yeah, a little bit not doing too well in the league actually, up until this point. We then had our first game in the Europa League against Randers FC. We won 2-0. Mauro Icardi scored his first goal for the club, and Doran Rotario also scored as well. Then Fulham, we finally got a win in the Premier League after five league games, and we finally got a win. Obviously, we drew with City, drew with West Ham, lost to Everton, lost to Arsenal. So yeah, we finally, after 5 games, we finally got a win against Fulham. Only 1-0 though, the newly promoted Fulham. Balanta with the only goal in the 4th minute. So yeah, things aren't looking too great. Obviously, we've got a new team, not new tactic, but new team learning the new tactic. So yeah, that was a little bit concerned. And then probably the biggest kick in the teeth, and the board probably won't be too happy about this, but Doncaster beat us in the Capital One Cup 3rd round, which is not good at all. Yeah, was really not pleased with this at all. But they didn't dominate us, but they battered us. Corchia had a poor game. Guidetti didn't play too great. I think we played obviously a second string team and brought players on later on. But yeah, really sort of concerning that we couldn't beat Doncaster. And we're out of the cup. We're out of the Capital One Cup. We reached the semi-final of this competition last season, so not good. But we did return to winning ways and carried on our 2-game winning streak in the league against QPR. Again, only a 1-0 victory. Mauro Icardi again with an early goal, 6 minutes in. And Gaston Gil Romero was also sent off, and he was warned for being sent off obviously after the game. So that's all that's been going on. Obviously, our next game is later on today against Rubin Kazan, Europa League Group A. We are currently, after our 2-0 win against Randers FC, sat in 2nd with 3 points. Bremen beat Rubin Kazan 1-0, so it's between us and Bremen at the moment for top of the league on goal difference. So that doesn't make sense. If they only beat them 1-0, I didn't think they did beat them 1-0, surely. No, they didn't beat them 1-0. What am I on about? Yeah, so obviously, yeah, Werder Bremen beat them more than 1-0, more than 2-0, and a top. So yeah, regards to the league, after our 2 wins, we've climbed a little bit since the last episode, but we're now 8 points behind top, which is really not good. Really poor start. In contrast to last season when we had a really good start. After 6 games, we now have 8 points. So sat in 12th place currently at the moment, around the likes. Well, we're joint on points with 9th, I guess, with Southampton, Stoke and QPR, but we've got a -2 goal difference, so we really need to turn that around come towards the end of the season. We've had a couple of problems with injuries. Munir, unfortunately, is out for 3 months, which is not great. So he was out for 3 months. He's got 7 weeks to 2 months left. And then we have Tom Cleverley, who hasn't really played, but we didn't even register him for the Europa League, for example. He's out for 2 to 3 weeks. His value's already decreased since last episode, so January will probably be the time where we'll look to sell him. And then Phil Jones is actually out as well. He's out for 5 to 11 days, and he was actually out for 4 to 5 weeks. So he was injured at the very sort of beginning of the month. Sorry, like early September. Not too far after we left you in the last episode. In regards to the actual team and how they're getting on currently at the moment, our best average rated player is John Guidetti. He scored 4 goals in 4 appearances. Actually looking to be like not a bad little buy, to be honest with you. He's our top scorer at the minute for the season, with Jack Grealish in 2nd with 3 goals. Verratti's still performing with that average rating of 7.56 in 8 appearances. Jonathan Silva 7.3. Then we've got Lowton 7.2, and obviously goes on and on. John Guidetti's our top scorer, as I said. Jack Grealish in 2nd. Then we've got Icardi and Rotario with 2 goals, and then we have Munir, Ibe and Balanta with a goal each. So Balanta actually scored his first goal for the club, actually, if you think about it. So it took him over a season to score, but he finally did. So one of the main things that I mentioned in the previous, that I've mentioned about the previous season is I want to get goals coming from all over the pitch rather than just our strikers. So obviously Zapata kind of carried the team last season. Unfortunately, we couldn't get him in this season though, because he is not able to get a work permit. So if we even signed him, it would have been a waste of money, and he would probably have to have been loaned back out. Other things that have been going on in the previous episode, we mentioned about us going for a feeder club. We now have one. We have, because I feel it's Kasimpasa. Probably pronounced that right. Probably one of them THS's. Kasimpasa from Turkey in the Sport Toto Super League. They're currently sat in third after 6 games. Behind Besiktas and Galatasaray, ahead of Trabzonspor, which is good. Bursaspor obviously in that league as well. So yeah, not a bad little feeder club actually over in Turkey. So that's been settled now. We found new staff. We've got a couple of new staff that we want to get in. Obviously I mentioned about we now have more scouts that we want. I'm trying to get sort of many different nations to kind of get our knowledge up, especially when it comes to signing new regens. So we do have 2 scouts hopefully that we're trying to get, but we can't get the wages / the money that they need to leave their current club, so the release clauses that they need. So yeah, shocking result of Doncaster. I've also got written down. Gaston Gil Romero was warned about his sending off against QPR, and we also have a new sponsorship deal. We want income. We have I'm not too sure where's sponsorship. So we have a new sponsorship deal, as you can see. So we've actually made a profit already from last season, or we're due to. 250k per annum, 3-year sponsorship deal, so that's also done and over the line. A player that we're looking at as well is Danny Ings. Unfortunately, he's just a little bit too expensive. Obviously, I said about maybe looking for a third choice striker. I'd like to go for a youngster. Danny Ings I'd probably long term replace John Guidetti with if I was to sign him. These are the players that are expiring in a year's time, so we'll obviously look to approach some of these when it gets to December and try and make some money on them. Money making is one of the biggest things. Obviously we want results to continue like they did last season, but we need to keep making and constantly making money and increasing that budget nice and healthily. These are the players that are currently on the transfer list in order of value. We have Lucas Leiva who's on there. We've got Ryan Mason, Valencia still at United, Cohen Trowson on there, Ashley Young, De Guzman you may remember from Swansea. Who else do we have? Albin Ekdal's not a bad player. He's actually now at Lazio though. Darren Fletcher, the ex-United player at West Brom. One of my United boys. Eduardo Vargas is the winger. So yeah, quite a few players that are on there. Jamie Vardy from Leicester. Danny Simpson, Edison, Vasquez, the Nuge, the difference. Yeah, so that's pretty much the transfer. So there's not really a lot on there at the moment. So there's nothing that would be interesting to us anyway. That could better any of the positions or any of the teams that we have. So in regards to where we're going to try and push for next season, we will need a Sol replacement unless we can sort of take Sol permanently. Munir we probably won't be able to get, but I don't know about Munir because he's a very good player, got loads of potential, but I've seen in other saves where he's quite hard to get playing, and he actually leaves Barcelona on quite a lot of other saves as well. Since the update, before the update, when he was naturally a striker, he was unreal. Jordan Ibe, I doubt Liverpool are going to let him go for very cheap, so we'll probably look to replace him at the end of the season as well. But it's still early days. The 1st of October, you never know what might happen. You never know who might go on the transfer list in January. So yeah, the tactic hasn't changed. If we go to it now, we're still playing the 4-1-2-2-1 or the 4-3-3, or the fake 4-3 as I like to call it. Rotation's still been very, very key, as you can see by a lot of these conditions. We've got some injuries to get through, and obviously we have a game today against Rubin Kazan in the Europa League. So that's pretty much all that's happened. A little bit of a shorter episode in comparison to the last episode. So feel free to give the video a like. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the content and if you want to see more of this Aston Villa series. Don't forget to check out the other series as well. Obviously we've got the World Network game every Saturday, and we also have the York City game, the building a force game or save or series that we have going, which is really entertaining. That's probably the one I'm enjoying the most at the moment. Starting off with a lower club and building our way up, but yeah, so anyway, I'm still into this Villa save. We are going to turn it around. The goal is to win the Champions League. When we win the Champions League, it'll probably be the end of the series, because obviously the York City one is our main series for the channel. But still 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This will continue, obviously, until we do win the Champions League or FM16 comes out. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. But yeah, we're still a couple of years off yet, so this will still continue, don't worry. But I've been FM Campbell. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to get your comments in below. Get some suggestions going. If there's things that you would like me to cover, make sure you let me know. And I'll see you guys in episode number 14.